Do a barrel roll.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
I'm John.
And we've been waiting on Crackdown 3 for 7 years at this point.
And doing nothing else but wait for it.
That's it. We've been sitting in a room alone, staring at the wall, waiting for Crackdown 3. And finally, mercifully, that wait is coming to a close with the game's release this November.
Cool. However, Microsoft's relative downplaying of the game at E3 raised a few eyebrows.
The trailer was cool, though.
Yeah, and then this week, even more of them eyebrows were raised with the release of a huge dump of gameplay footage that left more than a few fans disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. You're all right, John.
I'm disappointed.
Now the web is filling with headlines and comments worried about how Crackdown 3 is going to turn out. A lot of people have waited a lot of years. They're invested. It needed to be good.
Wait, the internet's coming to conclusions about a game that hasn't been released yet?
Yes.
What?
The new footage of the game isn't exactly new footage. It's actually some of the same B-roll that Microsoft had on hand at E3, complete with developer commentary. However, given that the company didn't really make that huge a deal about Crackdown at the expo, they showed it, but didn't focus on it as the single huge game that you should be paying attention to coming out this holiday. So you wouldn't be blamed for missing it. A lot of people did.
But now, the footage has turned up, minus developer commentary on YouTuber Radbrad's channel, who provided some commentary of his own over the B-roll, or broll as we call it in the industry.
The brawl.
If you're wondering, he tends to describe the game as sick.
It didn't take long for the footage to appear before a number of different outlets started running headlines about Crackdown 3's lackluster progress just a few months before launch. Hundreds of comments noting the same across places like Reddit and NeoGAF. Basically, a lot of sudden panic.
And quite a few people seem to be a bit concerned about how Crackdown 3 is going to play at launch. In addition to commenting on the video's rather unique method of release, people are also blasting the game's graphics, calling them outdated, along with the open world gameplay. It's drawing quite a few comparisons to a number of titles we've already played before, like Saints Row 4.
Which, I mean, isn't necessarily a bad thing if you loved Saints Row 4, which a lot of people did. But considering this is one of the biggest Xbox titles of 2017, it seems like fans might have been hoping for something a little bit more. Plus, some gamers are just now realizing how much has actually been stripped out of Crackdown 3 since it was first announced. Like, for example, fully destructible environments in the campaign.
So, what exactly are people saying about Crackdown 3?
Well, one commenter on VG247's article, which has hundreds of really kind of salty negative comments, wrote, "This looks miserable, like a AA dev early last gen. This took 5 years. Even destruction isn't going to make this look fun. Sunset Overdrive had gameplay energy, albeit I hated the character, but this is dead. This is what we waited for since launch. Xbox is starting to feel done. Also, don't say those things about Terry."
Yeah, it feels like this person is talking about like an ex-girlfriend or something instead of a video game that's not even been released yet.
Ouch, yeah.
Yeah, that hurts. Things don't fare too much better for Microsoft over on Reddit, where one Redditor said about the video, "I want to like this, but unfortunately I don't. Doesn't look like much of an upgrade from the previous titles. Have a feeling it's going to get a lukewarm reception critically and commercially."
But maybe people felt better about it over on NeoGAF, right?
Sure.
No.
Okay.
One commenter there said, "Looks like garbage. Also disappointed about the complete lack of destruction. I know toppling buildings was supposed to be a multiplayer feature, but the level of destruction in single player honestly looks embarrassing, especially paired with the pretty average graphical fidelity of this game. I'd rather have Sunset Overdrive 2. I do feel you on Sunset Overdrive 2, but it doesn't have to be either or. You can have both."
No.
Maybe.
Only Crackdown 2, 3 or Sunset Overdrive 2, not both. Another one wrote, "How is this still not canceled? This looks like a cel-shaded Saints Row 3. I can't see how this is a first-party published game." And a lot more comments continue in that same vein.
Yeah, look, it's never good when you're showing off your big 2017 AAA exclusive and people are saying your Xbox One launch title from 2014 looks way better. Although, Sunset Overdrive was awesome. Looked awesome.
Not talking about Sunset Overdrive, talking about Crackdown.
Okay, fine. This becomes an even bigger problem since it is one of Xbox One X's primary launch games, unless you're counting 4K Minecraft, of course, and you're probably not because you shouldn't, because Minecraft's been out.
So, how much of this is just people hating on Microsoft exclusives? Because, let's be honest, that's in vogue at the moment. And how much of this is actual criticism? Honestly, it's a bit hard to discern. But it certainly didn't help that some of the first lengthy gameplay we're seeing was published alongside a YouTuber's enthusiastic commentary.
Well, a lot of times enthusiastic commentary is exactly what can sell an experience. It just, in this case, it doesn't look like the people watching it really necessarily butt into that. All that being said, there were quite a few commenters who feel the opposite of some of the ones we read. For those excited fans, all they really wanted was more Crackdown, and Crackdown 3 delivers in that department. It is more Crackdown, and it's got Terry.
Terry Crews, gotta love
Yes.
this guy. He used to be an art student. He's very talented.
Yeah, but he has so much muscle.
Yeah, and he built his own PC with his kid. It's a great guy. But is that going to be good enough for the game to succeed, considering we're talking about emulating a game that came out over a decade ago? Well, the open world genre has totally changed since Crackdown released, and a lot of games have added more variety and refinement since then. For a little perspective, Crackdown released before Assassin's Creed.
Wait, like Assassin's Creed 1?
Yes, before Assassin's Creed 1.
Well, it sounds good on the surface to just deliver more Crackdown. That might not give it a whole bunch of audience outside of its original fan base. The people who wanted more Crackdown are going to be super happy, but if you never played Crackdown before, maybe it's not enough to pull you in. I don't know. Plus, Crackdown 3 has been delayed and in production for what feels like forever, if it's really been that long. I didn't realize that the franchise has actually been around that long, but I guess it has. And sometimes when games do that, they carry legacy problems from early in development.
That's not always the case, but we've seen some of that on display in titles that were long in the tooth, like The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 15. Both had plenty of redeeming qualities, some more than others, but there's no denying they had some holdover problems from early development.
As for Microsoft, they maintain the reason development's taken so long is because Crackdown 3 is an ambitious game. It's trying to do a lot, and they want us to take their time and do it right. Crackdown 3 director Clint Bundrick said in a recent interview with Game Reactor, the campaign world is twice the size of the city in the original Crackdown, and not only in terms of footprint, the tallest building is also twice as tall as the tallest building in the original game. So it's a super ambitious game for the campaign, and then an incredibly ambitious game for the competitive multiplayer mode. This is a franchise that deserved to come back right, and we wanted to take our time to do it right. So they still believe.
This recent string of Crackdown 3 backlash has also brought with it quite a few gamers who are wondering about its missing features. At E3, Microsoft quietly underplayed the fact that Crackdown 3 single player is now shipping without one of its most promising aspects, fully destructible environments.
That level of environmental destruction is only relegated to the multiplayer mode, which is 10 players and 100% destructible, and sounds kind of cool.
Still, it's not what was promised.
Or at least inferred.
Yeah, and it looks like some fans are just now learning it for the first time because, again, Microsoft didn't exactly make it super obvious at E3. There's also a bit of confusion in their marketing and messaging because their webpage still calls it a sandbox of mayhem and destruction.
Well, you're destroying people, perhaps, just not buildings. All that being said, there's still a lot of time for Microsoft to turn some of the perception around with fans who might be a little bit disappointed by this latest gameplay. Microsoft has teased some big news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con later this month. It's entirely possible that this is from an older build. A lot of times the polish can come in the last couple percents as you get to launch. It's happened before.
What do you guys think about the upcoming open world game, Crackdown 3? Do you care if it's more of the same? Does the game look just fine to you? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on all your favorite exclusives, remember to like this video and subscribe to the Know. My lip gloss is now officially out. I just wanted to let everyone know. This is a really sad time for me. Well, here's why it's sad. I've never ever finished a lipstick.
Me neither.
Until now.
That's an accomplishment.
I never.
That's not a sad thing.
Except I don't know how to replace it. I don't know where I got it.